Welcome to House News. Although it's quite gloomy here, we hope you have a bright day. Coming up, as the sixth largest country with bauxite reserves in the world, Indonesia is still importing the raw material for aluminium production. Member of Commission 7 of the House, Abdul Qadir Kading, encourages the synergies between state-owned enterprises in order to increase domestic aluminium production. The Speaker of the House requests the Indonesian Army and Police to assist the government in managing economic and social recovery as the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Are you looking for a place for holiday while learning something? Let's visit the Insect Museum in East Java. Thousands of insect collections around Indonesia are here. To make your visit more enjoyable, you can also stop by the cafe integrated with the museum. Since his appointment, Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto has considered the modernization of Indonesian military as one of the main objectives of his mandate. While the ongoing modernization attempt known as Minimum Essential Force or MEF plan has been considered delayed, such policy is welcomed by end users and defense experts. It is strongly suggested the policy involving local weapon system industry. Chairman of the Bilateral Cooperation Group or GKSB of the House and Parliament of Ukraine, Sugeng Suparwoto said Russia's invasion of Ukraine could have a broad impact on world peace. He urges the government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to immediately facilitate a forum between conflicted countries and stakeholders to have a dialogue. And MotoGP Mandalika event update, tickets for the third day or race day on March 20 have been sold out. Commission 7 of the House commits to guard the acceleration of aluminium production. Commission 7 explained the House is present to bridge non-technical problems, cross-ministries issues to support this acceleration process.
North Sumatra, the member of Commission 7 of the House Abdul Qadir Kading affirmed government has to promptly decide energy resources used for the acceleration process of this aluminium production, either by establishing new resources or enlarging the energy capacity of Asahan 1 and Asahan 2, which have been managed by State Electricity Company.
Rencananya akan membentuk tim semacam tim pengawas agar mengawal percepatan ini, produksi, memperbesar produksi aluminium.
Meanwhile, the chairperson of Commission 7 of the House, Sugeng Suparwoto, regrets Indonesia is still importing alumina, one of the raw materials for aluminium production. In fact, Indonesia is the sixth largest country with bauxite reserve in the world. Sugeng Suparwoto feels ashamed with the House and government seem too slow in handling the import policy, knowing the fact that the potential of domestic production is quite high and could be explored further.
Ada Pak Laghot sebagai dapil waktu itu, dan sekarang juga ada Pak Tif, Patul Sembiring, juga waktu itu ada Pak Nasril ya. Kita sepakat kami akan ikut menyelesaikan persoalan-persoalan non-teknis, biasanya politis sifatnya. Kami akan menjadi breakthrough segala kejumutan-kejumutan yang ada.
From North Sumatra, Amita Pradita, TV Parlemen reports.
The Speaker of the House, the Honoris Causa Dr. Puan Maharani, encourages Indonesian Army and Police to be active to support government program in economic and social recovery. Hence, Indonesia is able to have immediate recovery as the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Attending the leadership meeting of Indonesian Army and Police at the National Army Headquarters in Cilangkap, Jakarta, in her speech, Puan Maharani said the economic growth during 2021 was certainly improving. However, at the present time in 2022, there is a shrinking. Economic activities should not stop as there will be effect on decreasing income and social welfare quality. Puan hopes economic recovery in every region is strengthened and accelerated. It needs the role of the Indonesian Army and Police to keep the situation conducive, which enables the constructing of state policy in terms of national economic recovery can be effective.
Kebijakan negara pada Program Pemulihan Ekonomi Nasional atau PEN diarahkan untuk membantu pelaku usaha agar dapat bertahan dan tetap dapat menjalankan usahanya. Dampak pandemi juga dirasakan langsung oleh masyarakat usia kerja yang terdampak pandemi COVID-19 mencapai 21,3 juta penduduk atau 10,3% dari usia kerja. Merupakan momentum yang tepat bagi TNI Polri untuk dapat mengkonsolidasikan, memantapkan, dan menyelaraskan berbagai upaya, kebijakan, dan program dalam mendukung pemulihan ekonomi nasional dan reformasi struktural.
Furthermore, Puan Maharani added the acceleration of economic and social recovery is highly determined by the capability of entire elements to anticipate the spread of pandemic. The complexity of the problems as a result of the pandemic becomes a serious challenge for the government to mitigate the impacts which now have been wider. The House certainly gives support to the government to take prompt and responsive action to save people's lives. Dodi and Rian, TVR Parlemen report.
If you happen to cross Jember to Banyuwangi, East Java, you will see a huge beetle statue lies next to the road. This statue belongs to a local insect museum called as Museum Serangga.
Quoted from timesindonesia.co.id, Museum Serangga, which literally means insect museum, has thousands of dead insects for their collection. Some of them in form of artificial one and some were the real dead insects. All of them are put together in frames to keep them from dust and further damage. With all the collections, this museum has become one must place to visit, either for scientific reasons or pleasure. One of the staffs at museum, Cahyono, said some foreign tourists and collectors have visited this place. They came from around the world such as Spain, Japan, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, and France. They mostly came to see the arthropods. Meanwhile, the owner of the museum, George Octavianus, also equipped this place with nice cafeteria. He said the insect museum is open for public. It only costs 5,000 rupiah for students and 10,000 rupiah for common visitors.
Until 2021, the achievement of the Minimum Essential Force, or MEF, producing primary weapon system in Indonesia is still below 65%. The member of Commission 1 of the House assessed Indonesian domestic weapon industry has not been capable yet to meet the demand of current standards of primary weapon system. Therefore, it will need cooperation with foreign partners.
At the Nusantara 1 building of the House, Yan Permenas pointed out Indonesian primary weapon systems still require modernization in terms of the quantity and the technology. The priority of the Minister of Defense to develop domestic defense weapons industry needs to be supported. In addition, Indonesia could improve its power as well as utilizing domestic weapon system production. Therefore, cooperation of procuring with overseas companies should continue to involve the domestic defense equipment authorization industry.
Kebutuhan latihan, patroli rutin, ya, itu harus kita hitung semua dengan baik. Karena kalau saya lihat alutsista kita saat ini untuk latihan masih bisa kita fungsikan. Tapi kalau untuk patroli rutin saya pikir tidak bisa kita fungsikan semua karena suatu saat bisa terjadi insiden yang tidak kita inginkan lagi.
Member of Commission 1 of the House, Kresna Dewanata, says the purchasing of main weapon system should not neglect the political position of Indonesia as a non-aligned country. The process of knowledge transfer is still a concern, thus Indonesia can develop weapon system technology in order to ease the weapon maintenance process.
Kalau hanya untuk jual alat biasa, tetapi bagaimana dia bisa maintain dan kemudian bisa transfer knowledge kepada orang-orang Indonesia. Jadi akhirnya kita tidak tergantung terus-menerus.
Commission 1 of the House recognized the demand for the supply of more advanced weapons, for instance, armored vehicles, whether for land, sea, or air. Amita Entemi, TVR Parlemen report.
Since the invasion of Russia to Ukraine last February 24, the conflict between both countries has not yet over. The House Committee for Interparliamentary Cooperation assessed Indonesia could become a mediator for Russia and Ukraine by initiating a dialogue between those countries.
Receiving the ambassador of Ukraine to Indonesia at the House building in Jakarta, Chairman of Bilateral Cooperation Group of the House or GKSB, Sugeng Suparwoto states, it is necessary for Indonesia to be proactive in optimizing various efforts to bring peace for Russia and Ukraine. The conflict of these two countries has given impact on global economic stability. One of the impact is the increasing of world oil prices. On the other side, humanitarian aspects should also be a concern. In the situation of war, civil society endures immense consequences. The House, which has good relationship between Ukraine Parliament as well as with the Russian Parliament, will also take a mediator role through Parliament diplomacy.
Karena implikasinya bukan semata-mata antara Rusia dan Ukraina, tetapi sudah berimplikasi luas terhadap dunia ini, mengancam juga perdamaian dunia. Kami di Komisi di Parlemen ini akan segera juga berdialog, nanti akan mengundang dubes Rusia yang ada di sini.
On this occasion, Ambassador of Ukraine to Indonesia, Vasil Hamianin, hopes the war between her country and Russia could end immediately. Aside from numerous civilians suffer, massive infrastructure damages happen in many parts of Ukraine. Ukraine has engaged dialogue with Russia and other countries in order to stop Russian and Ukraine conflict.
And it is Ukraine who wants to end this war as soon as possible, because what happens now is the civilians are suffering, the infrastructure is being destroyed, not in the east or west or south, everywhere. The whole Ukraine is in fire.
Fitian and Sanjaya, TVR Parliament report.
Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy Sandiaga Uno has confirmed 60,000 tickets for the race day of the 2022 Mandalika MotoGP have been sold out.
Quoted from antaranews.com, Sandiaga pointed out, the sold-out tickets is to respond to some news doubting MotoGP ticket sales. The MotoGP Championship will be held from March 18 to 20, 2022 at the Pertamina Mandalika International Street Circuit, Central Lombok District, West Nusa Tenggara Province. Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, Erlangga Hartarto, had earlier said the MotoGP tickets were sold out after confirmation regarding repaving. The spectator capacity of 60,000 and the new requirement for MotoGP spectators we have been fully vaccinated will not be required to undergo COVID-19 testing. The minister expressed the hope 7,000 rooms around the Mandalika and Gili Lombok area will be occupied soon. Deputy for Industry and Investment at the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Hengki Manurung, said, almost all preparation related to accessibility, amenities, and attractions for the certification of residential facilities for tourism had been coordinated with the provincial and central Lombok district authorities. He also added the ministry will set up help desks, both online and offline, by involving more than 200 personnel from tourism polytechnics to help visitors enjoy West Nusa Tenggara, the host of the Mandalika MotoGP.
And that's House News for today. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good day.